I turn 54 next month and thought now was a perfect time to actually talk about fashion mistakes, or perhaps I should say fashion choices that we often make that tend to just make us look older than our years. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome back to my channel. One of the questions that I get asked more than any other is, am I too old to wear something? Now it could be, am I too old to wear this mini skirt? Am I too old to wear denim? Is this appropriate for my age? Now these are all really valid questions, but they do make me sad because at the end of the day there is no definitive right or wrong answer to those sorts of questions. It's also sad because it really does highlight the fact that we tend to put ourselves in a box and define ourselves by rules that have been set down by someone else. And the problem with that is that rules that have been made by someone else may not fit you and may not be right for you. So in today's video, I'm sharing some of my rules or just tips for very much putting your best foot forward and making fashion decisions and choices that are going to make you look as youthful or as good as you would like to. At this point, I'd just like to take a minute to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. You may or may not know that I've been a huge fan of Skillshare for a couple of years now, and over that time I've taken a number of their courses. This year I'm planning on exploring my own creativity, and I'm going to take a new Skillshare course every month. This month I'm doing a course by Sarah Bradley called Create Vinyl Decals That Are Ready to Sell. I have a Cricut maker and I'm still learning how to use it, so this course is going to be fab. Now, if you don't already know, Skillshare is an amazing online learning community and there are courses in everything you can imagine, from art, drawing, photography, sewing, and everything in between. There are always new classes to choose from and you'll be surprised. There's definitely going to be something that will excite and delight you. It's also only $10 a month to subscribe to Skillshare, but for the first 1,000 viewers who click my link in the description box, you will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. All the info is linked in the description box below, as well as a few of my favorite courses. Maybe this year is the year that you explore your own creativity too. Now, my first piece of advice is to say goodbye to fashion rules that make absolutely no sense. Now at almost 54, there would be so many things that if I'd listened to the rules and the do's and the don'ts of fashion, that I just wouldn't be able to wear. So I love wearing trainers with dresses. There are certain styles that I absolutely love wearing that if I subscribe to those old-fashioned, antiquated notions of what you can and can't do when it comes to fashion, I'd have nothing to wear. Those rules, in my mind, are all based around expectations. Expectations of what other people put on you and how we should and shouldn't do things. And at the end of the day, and I think last year taught us this better than any other, that there are no expectations. We need to be happy. We need to make decisions that are right for us, and that includes fashion decisions and fashion choices. So if you were told by an old aunt or your mother or whoever it may have been that you can't wear a particular style or a particular color doesn't suit you, wipe the slate clean, and I challenge you to start afresh. Try and drop those expectations and those hard and fast rules and just be more in tune with your instincts and wear what makes you feel happy. And that leads in perfectly to my next piece of advice, which is exactly that. Wear what makes you feel happy. I recently spoke about happy clothes in a video, and that seemed to really resonate with you. I think we forget that fashion is fun. After all, it is a way that we can express ourselves. But if we constrain ourselves by too many rules and regulations, that's when the fun gets lost. So inject some fun back into fashion, and remember, it can be your happy place, and it's all about just making you happy, not those around you. So drop the judgment and invest in happiness, and remember that fashion, it is about happiness. It can be something that actually makes you feel good. So roll with that without the constraints of judgment and rules and expectations. My other piece of advice is to highlight and show off your best assets. Now, for me, my shoulders and my arms are my best assets. They're lean and strong, and I tend to wear shoestring straps and pieces of clothing that show them off. I think it's really important to show off your assets. So if you are 60 and you've got great legs, wear the mini skirts. Don't be constrained by what you think is appropriate for your age. And if you are going to wear a mini skirt, maybe wear a top half that's a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more covered up. So I think it's important just to know your assets and show them up. Another fashion choice that I think is really well worth making is quality over quantity. Now, that's obviously within reason. I would love to go out and buy a Chanel handbag, but that's not in my budget. It's just not realistic for me. So I'm not talking extremes, but I am just talking about being able to purchase pieces that are timeless, not boring, so don't read boring into that, but are timeless and will be something that you will love and wear and cherish for years to come. So generally that means that you do have to spend a little bit more for pieces that will last. But spend to your budget. Don't go overspending and getting yourself into trouble because you feel that you need designer. Throw that thinking out, but it's all about buying less and buying better. And I think that's definitely where the world is heading as well. It's certainly where my head is at, and it's where my budget's at too. Sometimes as we get older, we tend to forget the accessories and we underestimate how important accessories are for finishing off an outfit. And certainly as I've got older, I've realized that accessories really are my best friend. So a beautiful modern pair of sunglasses or a gorgeous scarf or a modern handbag, it's those pieces that can just give a simple outfit a really modern edge. And that sort of modern edge does equate to generally a more youthful overall look. Sometimes it takes a little bit of pushing out of your comfort zone. For instance, sunglasses. Sunglass shapes change quite a bit, and you might think that you can't quite wear the supersized sunglasses. Have a play, try them on. I think sometimes you'll be surprised as to what actually works for you, what suits you, and what you can just have some fun with. When it comes to fashion and looking good and modernizing outfits, I always say that footwear is king. It's particularly great because it's easy to fit, and obviously as we get older our bodies change. You may put on a couple of kilos here, you may lose a couple of kilos there, your shape changes, but your foot and your shoe size stays pretty much the same, which makes shoe shopping one of the easiest things to do. And again, a little bit like accessories, shoes and footwear are a very simple way of just giving a plain outfit or an outfit that you've lived in and loved for years a bit of a modern edge and a bit of an update. So don't underestimate the power of updating some of your shoes. One of the common fashion mistakes that I see women making regularly as they get a little bit older is wearing clothes that are just ill-fitting. Now, I appreciate the temptation to wear clothes that are perhaps a little looser and less figure hugging, but I think we can go too far in either direction and wear clothes that just are too big for us, or equally clothes that are now too tight for us and really need an update. So I think it's really key just to every now and then go through your closet and try on some of your tried and tested pieces and really look at them and see if they are fitting you well. Ill-fitting pieces really is a sure sign that you're just not moving with the times and you're just not dressing for your body as it is now. It's all too easy to dress for how our body was a couple of years ago, but obviously as the years roll on and things change, we need to evolve and adapt adapt and change as well. The next mistake that I think we sometimes tend to make is showing too much skin. Now, don't come at me, I'm not trying to be conservative and rain on your parade, but I do think we can show some skin, but not let it all hang out. So if we're showing off our shoulders, perhaps we wear a pair of pants or jeans or a skirt that's a little bit longer. All I'm saying is just balance things out a little bit instead of showing everything. I think there's a time and a place for that if you're going to a special party, and that perhaps lends itself to showing your legs and bearing some skin by wearing a plunging neckline or showing off some shoulder. But I think 9 times out of 10 it's best to just manage how much skin you're showing off. And as I said, if you're showing off a little skin up top, maybe cover up a little bit on your legs, on your bottom half, or vice versa. But just sometimes leaving something to the imagination can be far more flattering. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one and something that I talked about resonated with you. If you did, I'd love you to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.